Okay, so in this part of the tutorial we're going to be creating the styles for this. We've already seen that in our browser we've got our field here, our search button here, and underneath we've got this unordered list with a few elements in. We're going to be removing these elements once we've styled them because we're going to pass that through using jQuery and PHP. The result's going to come from PHP, jQuery is going to put that in here. So we're going to put each list item inside of this UL. So what we need to do first is create our style sheet file, that's screen.css within a CSS folder. Let's go ahead and create a new file. We'll just type anything for now, so body, that will do. And let's go ahead and save it in a folder called CSS. And let's call it screen.css. Okay, so we've created our style sheet file. The first thing I'm going to do here is give the body a font. So I'm going to say font 0.8 EM, and the font I'm choosing is Verdana. So quickly and easily defining a font for our page. So when we refresh, you can see that the font's changed. Okay, so now we need to sort of reset, if you like, our elements on our page. So you can see that if we go back to index.php, we've got auto suggest here, that's a class. We've got drop down here, which is a class. And we've also got result, and that's a class as well. So we want to reset these, and we want to give them all the same width, and that means that everything is going to line up properly. So the first element we target is auto suggest, using the auto suggest class, and then the drop down class, and then the result class. And in here we want to set the margin, the padding, and the border all to 0. So margin none, padding none, so 0, border, sorry, 0, and we want to give them all a common width, and that is going to be 250 pixels. So now that we've done that, we want to target each of the elements individually and give them their own specific properties. Now you'll see if we pop back to our browser and refresh, you can see that that has given this a border of 0. You can see that it's almost sort of disappeared, and these have been sort of moved along, and the bullets have disappeared as well. So let's go ahead and style our auto suggest field. That's the field that the user is going to type something into. I'm going to give it a padding of 4 pixels, and I'm going to give it a border of 1 pixel, solid, and the color is going to be black, so 3 zeros. So padding 4 pixels, border 1 pixel, solid 0, 0, 0. And that means now that we've got essentially an undefined width of 5 pixels, because we've got 4 pixels here and a 5th pixel there. So let's refresh. You can see that that's given it a black border, and we've got a slight bit of padding inside of here as well. So the text isn't touching the edges. So now what we need to do is we need to style this list underneath to be the full width, and we need to give each of these results a border. So it sort of looks like a table that's dropping down from there. So we need to go ahead and style. Oops, not a forward slash. We need to style drop down. And what we're going to be doing is just setting the background. Oh no, we don't need to set the background to white. That's unnecessary. So we'll leave that one out. We want to start result. So result, we're going to set the width to 260 pixels. Why are we doing that? Well, as I said earlier, we've got the width of the auto suggest drop down and result to 250 pixels. We want to now reset the width of the result, or change the width of the result to 260 pixels, and the reason we're doing 260 is because either side of this we've got 4 pixels padding and 1 pixel border, so we're adding 10. So 4 plus 1 times 2 is 10. Maybe this confuses, but 4 pixels on this side, 4 pixels on this side, 1 pixel border, 1 pixel border. We've got 5 pixels here, 5 pixels here. So the width is going to be 260. We're basically adding 10 on. So hopefully that makes sense. And we don't need to declare list style none because our padding has done that, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. It's list style none. And now let's go ahead and style each individual list item. So at the moment we need to style this, this, and this. So dot result li. Remember, our result is a UL, so this is basically a UL. We're just targeting the elements within this. We want to set a padding of 5 pixels. We want to set a border of 1 pixel, solid and black. The border top, actually I'll leave that one out for now because you'll see why it becomes a problem. If I refresh, you can see that we've got a sort of table looking thing now, but we've got too much border at the top, so we want to remove the top border. So border top 0, and then I'm going to go ahead and set a cursor on there, but let's just preview that change first. Looking nice. When I hover over these elements, I want the cursor to change to a pointer. So I'm going to say cursor pointer. That's relatively straightforward, and you can see that when I hover over each one, the cursor changes to a pointer. Quite straightforward. Okay, so now we want to set the hover. So I'm going to say dot result li and then the pseudo class hover. And what this will do is it will change it as we hover over it. So background black, color, meaning the text color, white. So now what's going to happen is when we hover over each one, we get a black background and the text changes to white. So really what we've got here is something that looks quite dynamic, but really it's just a list of elements on a page. It's relatively straightforward. So we can type something in here. Our main goal is to click it and then this whole thing to disappear and whatever we've clicked to be placed in there, and we're going to be using jQuery to do that. We're obviously not going to be doing that using CSS. So that's it for the styling. We've used a few styles here. It's not anything too complicated to style up the results. What we can now do is we can get rid of this and we can pull this up here. And that's it. We're going to be placing the li elements within this later on using jQuery and PHP. So for now, that is our styled form. Next part, we're going to take a look at the JavaScript side of things and what we're doing when a key is pressed.